And welcome to the stage, my pick to win this year's contest, Geraldine Manser.
Here comes Jerry.
Got the mic right this time. Hi, I'm Sherry, and you're going to find out in a few minutes that I'm not from Texas. My accent is from the Northeast. I'm born on a farm in Connecticut, spent 10 years. Then I moved to New York by force. Lived there for 29 years, came down to Texas, been here almost 25. But I don't think I'll ever get a Texan accent. I'd like to, but I have 3 kids, 25, almost 28, and 46. I had her when I was 10. And my younger daughter, she was always into fashion. When she was 2.5, her Beauty and the Beast shoes didn't match her Barbie underwear, so she didn't want to get dressed. And my older daughter, I gave her the mother's curse. I have 2 grandchildren. And I didn't give it to her fully. I just said, I hope you have a daughter just like you. I didn't say, I hope you have children just like you. So my grandson was exempt. And children are cute. They're very inquisitive when they're little. And a mother was bathing her son, and he pointed down there and he said, Mom, are these my brains? She said, not yet. And then later, they grow up and they get into sports. And in the 1800s, true story, they invented the athletic cup for the men to protect them in sports. And 100 years later, true story, 100 years later, they invented the helmet, which goes to prove that man finally realized his brains are important too. And then I have a little dog. I love pets. Long-haired Chihuahua. He's got 1 eye, 3 teeth, and no male equipment, and he's still charming the ladies. But back in his heyday, he's 15 now. Back in his heyday, he loved the ladies, and he always wanted to mate, and I always wanted to get him a mate. He's so cute. But it just didn't happen when I was trying. So we found out he had cancer, and I had to get him fixed. The night before the surgery, he found his own lady. He mated with my dachshund. So my daughter, the one that's 25, she's 14 at the time, she said, Mom, Luke is stuck inside Kiwi. I said, no, that's not possible. She said, yeah. So she brings them in, stuck together, to show me. That was her sex 101. Any lawyers out there? Doesn't matter, I'll still tell the joke. Rich Texan was dying, and he called his most 3 trusted friends. And that was his priest, his doctor, and his lawyer. And he asked them, please promise that you'll bury me with my money. Each of you take a third and throw in the casket with me. So they all promised they would. And the next day he died, and they were all at a bar talking about what a great man he was. And they say to the priest, well, tell the truth. Did you bury him with the 1/3 of his money? He said, well, I can't tell a lie. I didn't bury him with all of it. I took 10% for the needy in the parish. But I didn't take anything for myself. And he was a good man. He would have not minded. So they look at the doctor, and he said, what about you? He said, well, I can't tell a lie, just like the priest. I took 10% for the poor and needy of the parish. So now they look at the lawyer, and they said, what about you? Did you keep your promise? Did you bury him with 1/3 of the money? He said, absolutely. I wrote him a check. And my older daughter's not here, but this was the very first joke I ever told when I was about 15, 16, and she got to have it when I was a little older, and she's heard it so many times she's tired of it, but it's a real short one. An ant was crossing the railroad track, and the train ran over its ass. So he turned his head to see what happened, and the train ran over his head. And the moral of the story is never lose your head over a piece of ass. Thank you. And gas prices are going up today, and it's really not because of where we get the gas, or get the oil, I should say. But it's because of another reason. Because we have oil all over. We have oil in Texas. We have oil in Mexico. We have oil in other countries, Middle East. But the problem is the dipsticks are in Washington. And I don't know, I think a lot of you are too young to remember the Tupperware, but a man is in his prime his sexual prime when he's 17 to 25, and a woman is in her prime from 25 to 40. So if a man wants to find a woman in her prime and he still be in his prime, he has to go to a Tupperware party. I don't know if a lot of you don't know Tupperware, but I know you know Mary Kay, but... Anyway, and for you men, you should be happy that you're not an egg. Because an egg only gets laid once, eaten once, and put in hot boiling water to get hard. A husband was filling out a resume one time, and the interviewer was asking him, well, what's your current job? And he said, well, I'm my wife's sexual advisor. He said, okay, do you want to explain that? And he said, well, yeah, my wife said, anytime I want your fucking advice, I'll ask you. Well, there is a lot of jobs out there. I can do a lot of jokes about different things, but I don't have enough time, and I wouldn't be able to insult everybody, so I only insulted a few. But back to my dog. We did get him somebody after he got fixed. He was still interested, and he tried to mate with my chocolate point lab, and she made it easy for him. She laid down, and he gave wetback a whole new meaning. That's my time.
Here we go for Geraldine Manser.